Shame on you. Megyn Kelly absolutely burns Tom Hanks in an epic rant. Guys, I don't know about you, but I am sick and tired of these Hollywood elitist snobs looking down on decent American people because they don't agree with their disgusting far-left agendas. I've had enough. I'm pissed. I'm gonna go full Alex Jones right now. I'm kidding. But guys, this is a good rant. I think you're gonna enjoy it. You know, I'm actually proud to say that I didn't even know that the Grammys and the Oscars happened. I don't know which one was which, but you know, one was 2 days ago, a few days ago, like a week ago, depending on when this video gets uploaded, and the other was about a month ago. I didn't even know until after the fact. That's a great feeling because I care that little about these stupid celebrities and their Hollywood stuff, and you should too. So with that being said, everybody, we're gonna get right into it. It's gonna be a lot of fun, but first, do me a big favor here, like our video and share it around so we can keep bringing you all this great, hard-hitting content. As always, Patriots, I'm your host, Darian, and this is Resist the Mainstream.
Now, we're both of an era when the Oscars used to mean something because it was sort of one of those big showbiz events, and the Saturday Night Live 50-year reunion was sort of the closest thing to an award show. But then rather than just celebrating a TV show that you may have liked or loved or not really cared about for much of the past 50 years, they decided to very overtly do a screw you to half the country. Tom Hanks was involved in a skit where he just mocked MAGA voters. And I couldn't help but think, why?
You know what it reminded me of? I used to do a lot of stories on domestic violence, and I got to know a lot about how it works. And it reminded me of an abuser who goes back to a woman and puts on the mask. I'm charming. I'm totally loving. I will never hurt you. You can trust me. I get you. We're together. We're a partnership. But then as soon as the woman does something, could be anything, to set him off, the veil comes down and you realize this has been someone pretending. This whole thing that's been wooing me in has been an act. And oh my God, I was almost fooled. You know, thank God I saw the moment of reality. That's what that thing was to me, because Saturday Night Live hates conservatives. NBC hates conservatives. They've been doing programming that is anti-conservative, anti-Trump, pro-leftist causes in the open now for 12 years and beyond. I mean, I haven't really watched it with a political eye longer than that. And that on Sunday night, they tried to reel us in by just doing regular comedy that could appeal to anybody. Like, see, we're so fun. We've got all these big stars. So we're towing the line and we're going to make everybody love us and you can trust us. We're not going to be too political. We're going to be the kind of product that everyone can consume. And then the veil slipped. And it slipped because that's who they really are. And no one there thought there'd be a problem with that skit with Tom Hanks. No one said, oh God, is this beyond? Like, should we not? Because it's all the same left-wing echo chamber. So they decided to take one of the most beloved, most popular American actors ever, Tom Hanks, and put him in a Trump MAGA hat and put him down at the end on what they called Black Jeopardy, which is kind of like a joke that Black people don't watch normal Jeopardy. And so it's kind of like white Jeopardy. And he comes on Black Jeopardy, and the Black host comes over to shake his hand, and he recoils at the thought of touching a Black man and doesn't want to shake the hand, and only does it when he's forced to by the very gracious Black host.
Well, thank you. Hey, now speaking of church, can I say something? If more folks went to church, we wouldn't be in this mess we're in now.
You know what? I agree with you, Doug. I'd like to shake your hand, sir. Here we go.
No,
oh, no. Oh, no, it's just a handshake. Yeah, it's just a handshake. Yeah, all right. You're welcome at Black Jeopardy anytime.
All right. Well, thank you.
This whole clip is so ironically stupid, it's infuriating, all right? Not to do the whole, well, Dems are the real racist shtick, because that's really trite and gets super annoying, I know, but seriously, the whole idea of like recoiling at the handshake, that's exactly what a white liberal would do if a Black person disagrees with them, all right? I've seen it time and time again. They even have nicknames for them, for God's sakes. These are all nicknames that leftists have used for minorities, particularly Black people who disagree with their stupid left-wing agendas. Going to a personal anecdote here, I remember I was in a group in college, a group project kind of thing, and somehow it came up a conversation, a Latino guy who was in the group started talking about how he thinks white privilege is shit. He said it's a load of crap. He doesn't believe in it, and that racism has never held him down in this country. And then, surprise, surprise, a white liberal who was also in our group started arguing with him, got angry and upset with him, and started treating him a little bit differently after that. Talk about irony, right? I mean, this guy was getting so upset about the minority disagreeing with him that he's not oppressed and a loser or something, that now he's upset and he's going to treat him, ironically, like an oppressed loser. These people are just so insufferable. It just drives me nuts. And it's all a projection with them, all right? You know, they say that, you know, we hate women, we hate minorities. No, it's actually them, okay? And especially the woman part, all right? They hate women so much they don't believe in traditional gender roles and then sell it under this bullshit guise of, feminism, equality of the sexes, instead of encouraging women to do what is ultimately good and fruitful for them, which in many cases, surprise, surprise, is different from what is decent and good for a man. But that's a whole nother discussion. Back to the video.
The veil was down and we saw what they really think of all of us, not just MAGA, but anybody on the right. They think you're a racist. They think you're all the ists for all sorts of psychological reasons that we've gone into and don't need to here. But there was that piece of it. And then there was how deeply offensive it was for Tom Hanks in particular to participate in this skit. Tom Hanks, who started off on this stupid show called Bosom Buddies, which, I mean, maybe it was ahead of its time because it was about two men who dressed as women in order to get the living arrangements they wanted. So it was guys dressed, you know, sort of in drag. And he was hilarious and he was a nobody. And it was a stupid show that made us fall in love with him because he was so funny and bumbling.
You know, you ever notice how these leftists always get away with doing things that would get any decent American canceled as being a horrible, irredeemable racist or transphobe or whatever other made up word they want to use? Jimmy Kimmel used blackface, all right? He was wearing blackface and saying the N-word. Nobody gives a crap. Justin Trudeau wore blackface and brownface. They called it brownface to try to diminish it. Blackface on numerous occasions. No, it's okay. He's a far left freak, so we're okay with it. I'm a Democrat. And then, you know, the whole irony of this is that Megyn Kelly over here, she actually was fired from NBC very shortly after she got hired by the outlet because she defended the use of blackface in the context of Halloween costumes. She said, hey, you know, if a little girl is dressing up as, you know, a black character and wants to wear blackface for Halloween, I don't see an issue with that. It's not a big deal. And then they called her a horrible racist and they fired her. Was her offense, you know, not that any of it was an offense, but let's say it is an offense. Was that nearly as big as what Hanks, Trudeau, or what's his name, Kimmel did? No, of course not. Okay, it's all a scam. So do not ever apologize to the mob. And by the way, I believe, if I recall correctly, Megyn Kelly did apologize to them. And guess what? They still fired her and shamed her anyways. I'm sure she's learned from that since, though. I don't want to talk down on her. Point being, don't let them get away with it. They are bad people. Treat them as such.
And then parlayed that into a film career with great films like Sleepless in Seattle, where he was a romantic lead, and Big, where he was a kid in an adult's body, and Philadelphia, where he was a big-time lawyer suffering from HIV/AIDS. Like all these amazing, Forrest Gump, which was seen around the world, and everyone said the same thing. I love Tom Hanks. I love Tom Hanks. And in thanks to a nation, of audiences that included those guys who look like that, with the t-shirt, without the sleeves, that are maybe a little rough around the edges, who aren't as coiffed as he is with the perfect 3/4 zip, you know, sweater, with their MAGA hat on. And yeah, Tom Hanks, their Southern rural accent, you absolute effing snob, went to your movies and made you a billionaire. And your thanks to them is to mock and belittle them in the 2 minutes you had to portray what they might be like. Shame on you.
Shame on Hanks, indeed. I cannot stand these Hollywood snobs, and I don't know why people worship them so much. You know, it's funny. You hear so many people complaining about Kanye West, all right? I'll say it. Oh, he's so terrible. Yet none of them will talk about all these other scumbags, or all these scumbags, I should say, like Tom Hanks, Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, all of late night comedy. The list goes on and on. These people suck. With all that being said, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Did you like it? Go ahead and leave a comment below. Hit that subscribe button if you like the video, and we'll see you all again soon. God bless.